All right, everyone, welcome to our SEADLink Member Spotlight. Today we have Jennifer Black with us. Jennifer is an active member who provides outstanding influence and contributions to the Mindful Seed community. So as a thanks, we are featuring her in this month's SEADLink Member Spotlight. So welcome, Jen.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me today, Lauren.
Yeah, no problem. So just to get started, do you mind sharing like a brief, quick sense of who you are, a brief bio?
Sure. So, like you said, I am currently an active member in Mindful Seed, but in addition to that, I have been in the education field since 1994. I started my career in Arizona and then moved to Las Vegas in 1998. So I've been a principal since 2008, and I currently serve as a principal at Lincoln Elementary in North Las Vegas.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. What made you decide to become a school principal?
Well, obviously, I was an assistant principal before I became a principal, but I think just having a grander impact on the community. So I served as an assistant principal for 2.5 years at Lynch Elementary School, and then had the opportunity to interview and was selected to be principal at Watson Elementary back in 2008. So I think just knowing that, I was a leader from a young age. Um, I had leadership ability back in high school on the volleyball team. And so I was fortunate to have coaches and teachers who fostered those leadership abilities. And so then when I was a teacher, um, I was also noticed to be a leader, which helped me choose what I wanted to do my master's degree in, which was educational leadership. And then from there, I've just never looked back.
Yeah, I think talking about noticing leadership and fostering those abilities, I think that's definitely the educational system is where that happens often, or coaches. So that's definitely
Right.
cool to hear and hear that full circle of you being a leader in education. That's really awesome.
Right.
How did you first learn about SEL?
Well, I would say that SEL has been around for a very long time. Um, I would say probably back in the 90s, we didn't call it that, but we were doing it. We know in the education field that we have to take care of our students and our staff first and the basic needs. So we often talk about, Maslow before Bloom's. And so I think that's always just been a part of, how I operated as a teacher, assistant principal, and now principal. So we have things in place here at our school that we've had in place for a very long time to ensure that we are making sure that our kids' social emotional needs are taken care of.
Nice. Yeah. And I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier, how sometimes we put a name to something we've already been doing for a while. So
Right.
yeah, it's kind of cool to be like, yeah, this is what we call it. Um,
Yeah, I think
you know,
during COVID and then just post COVID, it's come to light more because of all of the trauma that we've dealt with during the pandemic. But I for sure know that it has been around for a long time, and now we're just calling it something more. It's coming more forward. People are realizing that we do have to put attention to it, or our students aren't going to be able to achieve. Our staff will not be able to be at their best at work unless we take care of them.
yeah, for sure. So thinking about your career and all that you've accomplished already, what have you enjoyed most about your career in education?
I would say just building all of the relationships. I'm very much a people person. And so I love building relationships with the students, the staff, and the community. I still hear from staff members that I worked with, years ago. It was somehow we get back in touch, like Janelle, she's part of the Mindful Seed group. And so, we've been out of touch for a bit, but like now we're back in touch. So I think that's probably what I enjoy the most, because at the end of the day, it really is about relationship and caring about people.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I think that's definitely the strongest part of the educational community is the relationships there. Kind of on the flip side of that, what would you say has been your biggest challenge?
Well, currently, I think the challenge is building the pipeline into education. So even at my school, being able to hire in licensed educators and support staff, there's just not a lot of applicants. So I think we somehow have to do a better job to entice people into the education field, because our students deserve it. And down the road, we are concerned about if we will have enough staff to be able to fill these positions, so that our students have that quality education that they need to prepare them for, college, career, and community ready. citizens one day.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of schools can say the same thing, that they've experienced that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unique to Clark County. It's not unique to Nevada, right? It is a nationwide issue. But it's just at this point, we're really trying to grow our own. We have substitute teachers. We're, pushing them into alternate route programs. I shouldn't say pushing them in, but, encouraging them to continue their education to become educators. We're hiring, employees right out of high school in hopes that if they join us as a support staff member, that while they go to college, they will choose the education field. So just lots of different ways we're working with people in the community to get more people into education.
Yeah. And speaking of people just starting out in education, if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice when you were just starting out, what would it be?
I think I would have focused more on um, the confidence piece. I think when you become a new teacher, you're not so sure about your abilities. But if you landed in education, that means that you have some love for children and a passion for what you do. And I think knowing like what I know now, back in 1994 when I was a first year teacher, is just to have more confidence in myself and my decision making and what I was doing for kids. I've grown to have more confidence, but it's not an easy thing. So you do have to surround yourself with a professional learning network, such as Mindful Seed, to build up your confidence and to grow your own capacity. And then, of course, focus on those relationships with the people that you work with and those in the community that can help you be, better in your profession.
Yeah. Speaking of a community like Mindful Seed, how have you found that Mindful Seed and SEL have helped you specifically as a school administrator, as a principal?
Well, what the Mindful Seed is doing is, I mean, I'm grateful for. I myself just, recently became a part of the Mindful Seed group, and not only the training I'm receiving and the coaching I'm receiving, but then I can use that with my staff and my students. And so we have, staff members now who are using mindfulness and all of the techniques and strategies and tools with their students. And so even when students are coming to visit with me, whether it's for a positive moment or maybe a disciplinary incident, those are conversations that we're having, and we're equipping staff and students with skills and strategies that they can use not just at the school, but in their own personal life to be healthier and to realize that they do have control over their emotions.
Yeah, that's something I've definitely noticed with Mindful Seed, is the interlap between like professional development and also personal development, where like really the things that you can use professionally also can really benefit you personally. So I totally agree with
Absolutely.
that.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the role model. People are going to look to the principal of the school. And so if I'm able to model skills and strategies that I use when I'm having a rough day or I need a moment, a conflict, a time of conflict, stressful incident, then the staff and students see that. And then they want to know more about that. And they also want to have those skills and strategies in their toolkit.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any topics you would like to talk more about to fellow SeedLink members in the SeedLink community?
I think the concept of the trauma is something that we have to continue to explore and learn more about, especially after the pandemic. Lots of trauma that students and staff and communities have gone through, and so I think it's something really important that we have to continue to talk about. It's there. It's kind of like the mental health. If we don't bring it up and we pretend it's not there, we're not helping anyone. So I just think we have to continue to study it, grow, learn how to help people who are in trauma so that we can make sure that we have, healthy individuals in society.
For sure. And don't mind some background noise. There's someone that has a birthday here where I am.
No
So
worries. Happy birthday.
so I left my most difficult question for last. Imagine a day without work, the internet, and any other obligations. What would you do?
Well, I love to go camping with my husband and my two dogs. And oftentimes there is no internet when we go camping, which is a beautiful thing. It is hard because you want to be checking your phone, checking your email, but I do find solace in being able to step away, go out into nature, and just enjoy the beauty around me, the quiet time, walking the dogs, campfire, s'mores, all the fun things that come with camping. So that is something that we do when we're able to get away.
I love it. I love getting in nature too. I think probably a lot of people can relate to that. So yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Jen, and for being a part of Mindful SEAD.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right.